I was on Bonfire. I left Bonfire in March.
Why?
It was really bless you.
Oh, geez. Oh,
I covered my milk.
My
And
God.
it was the source of the car.
Get out. Get out.
I covered
Get
my
out.
milk with covered.
Get out. Get out.
There.
No, there it started. There it started. This is Howie Mandel Does Stuff. I'm Howie Mandel.
I'm Jacqueline Schultz.
My daughter, and we have Dan Soder, one of the funniest, most talented young people on the I say young
Planet.
people because I
love that. I just turned 40, so I'll take that young thing anytime I can get it.
You feel old at 40?
I feel older. I feel like childhood is done finally.
Just at 40, 39, it's over. She's going to be 39 this year. So
39, you know
she
what
got
it
another
is?
year of childhood.
It really does. At 40, you're kind of like, oh,
It's done?
I'm an adult now.
Really?
I should learn about income tax. I don't know. I never knew what it was.
Until 40? 40 is when you figured it all out?
No, I still haven't figured it out. I just know that I can't get away with a lot of stuff I could get away with in my 30s by being like, I'm in my 30s. I'm figuring it out.
Well,
No.
when I met you just a minute ago, we haven't met before. They said he's using the bathroom, and he came out, and I thought you had shit yourself.
No, yeah.
No, but you had a.
I'm looking forward to those days coming up, you know, in my 70s.
But
and
I
80s.
hadn't met the guy. He walks out of the bathroom, and he's holding his stomach, and he goes, oh.
I just took a very satisfying piss, and it was very like.
Have you ever taken a dissatisfying piss?
I've had to pee so bad that when I did do it, it didn't live up to the expectation I thought it was going to be. Have I pissed in a car? I've never. One time I pissed in a car while we were moving my mom's boyfriend from Connecticut to Colorado. I had to piss in a Gatorade bottle, and that was unsatisfying because you're worried about it filling.
At least you had a Gatorade bottle. I don't want to go through my stuff.
I know. It's okay. He's off mic. They're saying he's off mic. I just want to say it's okay.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
It's okay.
Whatever he decides to
So
do.
here's the thing, Dan.
I love it. It's
Dan,
avant-garde.
go. Keep it where it was, Lou. So
It's not even on.
We've been doing. Is it not on?
No, the mic's not on.
You keep telling me to close it.
I love it, dude. I love. There it is, dude.
That's him. Okay, go ahead. Finish your thought.
People need to hear what I'm saying.
No. Dan, what were you saying?
But that was a dissatisfying piss. Was pissing in that Gatorade bottle on the drive. But you said
Your parents were there?
it was my mom's. I was in the U-Haul with my mom's boyfriend, and I turned my back to him, so he didn't see anything.
You couldn't just
Wait,
pull over?
Wait. mean.
Your mom's boyfriend put you in a U-Haul. This sounds like it's going to end really badly.
No,
Is he registered? Is he registered someplace?
He's not registered.
Okay.
We were driving him from Connecticut to Colorado.
In a U-Haul.
Yeah, my mom was driving his car, so she was in front of us with like his cat, and then I was in the U-Haul with him.
Nothing sounds good here.
It was not good. Howie, none of it was good. Top to bottom, none
Why
of it.
did you have to be there?
I don't know.
How old were you?
I was 13. I was 12 or 13.
Oh.
It sucked.
Yeah, I was 55 when I pissed in the car.
Were you?
Yeah.
Did you piss into something?
No, I was in the car and I had to piss, so I took a piss
Where did you piss?
in the car while I was driving,
Where in the car?
in the driver's seat.
You just pissed yourself.
I had to piss. It's not like I had to piss for a long period of time. I just had to piss.
And so you just pissed yourself?
I didn't bother holding it.
What did you do when you got to your destination?
I changed.
So you were going home?
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh, well, I'll just clean my underwear. And
You don't know who I am, do you?
I don't, but I'm trying to figure it out through these series of questions.
You don't know who I am.
I don't at all.
No.
Not-
Lou Dinos. Let me tell you something.
Please do.
Let me tell you something. You know when you watch a TV show from England or from Australia and they do these pranks and then they have one of the celebrities from Australia or England assist in the prank?
Sure.
And you're watching and you're thinking, I don't know who that person is?
Yeah.
I'm like that, but all over the world.
I love that. That was the coolest description of a person I've ever. That was a simultaneous brag and knockdown of yourself in one sentence.
He's internationally not known.
It was incredibly self-deprecating while also being cocky.
Yeah. You know how some people are world renowned?
Yeah.
He's world not known.
That's right.
I love it.
I was in Vegas last week. I was doing Las Vegas, Nevada. I was at the Tropicana in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's a very expensive ticket price.
Yeah.
Very expensive. I think it's about $50.
Yeah.
A lot of money. So what I do, and I'm unique this way, I have the ability. I do 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I have the ability.
Of what?
of stand-up.
Okay.
But I have the ability of making 20 minutes feel like an hour and a half.
That is, you're really getting them. That's
They
all the
get their
value.
they get their money's worth.
That is a value. Man, you're great at selling yourself and also not selling yourself. I'm trying to learn and also trying to avoid all of this stuff you're saying. In one breath, I'm like, I got to learn how to do. I don't need to learn how to do.
Dichotomy of blue.
Yeah. I'm going one way and then the door's shut.
This is true. I had a kid. This is the absolute truth. A kid flew in to see my show with his father from Massachusetts.
That's big.
From Massachusetts.
In a U-Haul, and he just pissed in a Gator cup.
And he flew in and he introduces himself to me, and I said to him, well, you're going to be thoroughly disappointed.
Yeah, let him know what he's getting.
Not getting.
Not getting. Let
Yeah.
him know what he's missing out on.
So that's who you're talking to, buddy.
So Dan,
I love it.
Do you?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love being around comedians just to see what in all shapes and forms we come in, you know? Yeah. And that is...
He's a car pisser.
You, sir, are a car pisser.
That's right.
And I respect the hell out of
I'm
you.
proud of it.
The fact that you just let it rip.
I didn't even. It's not like I had to piss for a long period of time. You know how you feel like you have to piss?
So you just let it go.
I pissed.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, of course.
Did you get the shivers?
No, it was just a piss, and I was making a right turn, and then I kept
Wait, you
going.
get the shivers when you piss?
Yeah, you ever pissed in?
No.
No.
I've never had the piss shivers.
No.
Why is every time I bring this up, people act like I'm an animal?
Why do you bring it up all the time?
People get the piss shivers. I brought it up on my old radio show, and people, I felt like an idiot until people reached out and were like, no, that happens all the time.
No, it
No.
doesn't. No, it
does.
doesn't. Is there anybody in the control
Anybody in the
room
corridor
that has the
For
piss
sure,
shivers?
We got a
Kyle.
hand up.
Oh,
For sure,
great.
We had a
Kyle.
lady with her hand up. All genders.
Jenny's father. Jenny is visiting. Her family is visiting here from Colorado. She brought her
Hey, I'm from
father
Ro-
to see.
I feel like
I'm from
Kyle
I'm
is a
from
piss
Colorado.
shiver.
You're from Colorado too?
Yeah, I grew up in Aurora. Go Nuggets. That was fun.
Good guy right there. So maybe it's a local thing because
Yeah, maybe
it
it's
is the
mountain
guy
folk.
from Colorado that held up his hand with the piss shivers.
Yeah, what happens is you piss and then your body it's warm. Like you go.
I've never done that. Can you imagine if the guy at the next urinal, like have you been in a public restroom and done that with
Yeah.
somebody right next to you?
Yeah, I've been at football games, and then I think other men are like, "Oh, that was a good piss." It's you know
It
what
would
it is.
scare me.
It's like after a meal, going like, "Oh, it's
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's a
No,
good. That's
it's
a good
not.
piss.
No, after a meal, oh, that was delicious. While you're pissing, going is not the same thing.
I'm just saying you haven't lived life unless you've piss shivered.
Well, I pissed one time if it was like 40 degrees outside. I did it then.
You had the piss shivers then.
Yeah.
But those are the shivers
that's
from
not
cold. That's
from
not from the
peeing.
peeing.
No, it's
That's
not
from
from
the
the peeing.
That's from the temperature.
I'm telling
I'm
you,
not
right-
a doctor. I'm not a fucking doctor.
Either am I. I just know what I felt, and I felt the Lord touch me when I get a piss shiver because I'm like, this feels unbelievable.
Why would you refer to your mother's boyfriend as the Lord?
Oh, yeah. Joe? Joe was never the Lord. I never got that fight. I always wanted that fight. The second I got too big, he moved out.
He did.
That's how the world works.
Size does matter, doesn't it?
It does. And when God gave me the size, he was like, come on, get going. Because he knew. He knew it was coming.
He knew.
You know,
I was getting
I need to tell you this because I have a friend, right?
Well, that's it. Anyway, so here's a question. Oh, he needs to talk.
No,
because you would think he's alone. You would think it's just Lou.
But this guy, this Don, let me tell you this story. This guy has
Who did you just call him? What did you call him?
Don.
Don.
I'll take it. Close enough.
His name's not Don.
It's not Don?
Nah, but you're close.
This guy,
Wait. Use his name in a sentence.
Don. This guy, Don Soderbergh.
He's not even
Don Soderman.
I would
Don
have
Soderman.
killed to have been a Soderbergh. I would have.
Soderbergh.
I would have killed to have been a member of the
I
tribe.
like your movies, man.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
so,
very much.
Don
Soderbergh.
I have a friend.
Another
Here's what I'm
guest.
trying to tell you. This is important. I have a friend who has a Midas touch. Everything he touches turns into a muffler shop.
I see how it keeps you around. You're fun.
Do you think so?
He's a fun guy. I
Okay,
like him.
so I'm going to give you some history on this podcast.
Background.
He was Lou, who is a friend of mine. Lou was there the very first night I ever got on stage in April 19th, 1977. It's 8 o'clock, 8 p.m.
Let me just say before you take
And he
that,
said to me, Harry, you got it.
He goes, Hank's always had a touch.
okay, done. The third week he was on,
Done.
the third, Howie went on stage on a Wednesday. I remember the day. It was a Wednesday. Within 3 weeks,
I love that
he
he's
was the
still
funniest
holding
man on the
his-
planet.
He's
It
still holding
literally
his
took him
headset.
that long to conquer stand-up.
Okay, anyway, that's not the point.
It is
the
the
point is that I've known this guy forever, and I love Lou.
Yeah,
So we started this podcast,
sure.
and Lou was on,
Yeah.
and a lot.
And he doesn't know me.
I don't, but I'm learning about you.
He doesn't fucking know me.
I don't, but I'm learning.
But that's a worldwide issue.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's international. He's part of the world. Pretty
part of
soon
the-
it's going to dawn on him what's going on here.
I'm going to be a Lou fanatic by the time I leave.
Don't
Well,
worry.
this is an experiment.
There's some people in their 20s that don't even know me.
But people were commenting, right? When
It's
you were on a lot.
50-50.
Oh, yeah?
Usually in our comments, yeah.
Some of them really despise me, and some of them just despise me.
But we've had a lot of comments recently that said bring Lou
Recently.
back.
Seriously.
So Don,
That's why I'm here.
He's back.
you're the guinea pig.
I'm here to usher in the Lou era.
That's what you've done.
This is the Lou era.
Just to give you a little sense of what has happened in the past, so you know where you're sitting. Can you roll a clip of Lou on maybe some past episodes?
Dude, I want to see a highlight reel.
I don't know. We didn't make a whole reel. It wasn't. We're not that interested.
Just felt like this
hey.
this profound sense of loneliness and not feeling loved, and that's what I ended up having to figure out. Like, what is this? What is this thing? So, I didn't have a good trip, but my buddy said, "Dude, you don't get the trip you want; you get the trip you need." And it was kind of like clear as day that okay, I need to figure out why I feel like this, and I just. I
Bill
immediately
Burr
knew
in a
who
very-
I was. Lou, please let me finish this. This is an amazing part of the story. Please don't slow it down with your Sunday newspaper story again.
There's
So he was. Bill Burr was in it. Go ahead.
Hall of Famer, one of my favorite comedians of all time.
Yeah.
And I was talking about his mushroom trip.
Right.
I just love watching you. There's nothing more Bill Burr than going, Lou, I don't need you in this right now. I hope I can get to the point where I'm that comfortable where I go, Lou, I'm talking about piss shivers. Either stand back or jump in full.
So he had that. I'll show you something else. Like
love this.
Another one. But people say bring him back.
You're like going through it. This is all of your heroes that Lou is annoyed. Just
one.
old clips
So
of
you're in
Rodney.
good company.
Yeah.
This is Rick Glassman from the Shoes Off Pod.
I love Rick Glassman.
Well, watch it.
Today, just so you know, today I got my fingers crossed. I applied to go to Harvard, and just keep your fingers crossed for me.
You know what I think? I think I figured it out. I think I figured it where the disconnect is. You have excellent setups. Excellent setups.
But-
I just don't think you finished them yet.
No, probably not. But I'm working on it.
Why does everything like
Lou,
what school of thought do you come
you're
from
gonna
that everything has to have a pod?
I'm starting to see a trend, Lou.
He's a
And I'm
trendsetter.
starting to think that you're a human Rubik's Cube. And everyone's trying to figure you out. And the more you try to figure you out, the more frustrating it gets.
You know, I've never considered myself a Rubik's Cube, but I know that I cannot complete one in 11 seconds.
So now you know how people feel meeting you. It's that same energy of like, yeah, I don't know.
Throw me away.
Oh, fuck it. Oh.
But I do like that line. Keep your fingers crossed. I'm gonna go to Harvard.
I love that you're getting new old bits from old clips.
Hey, one of my Instagram movies. I do these movies on Instagram.
Sure.
One of them has over 1,294,000 views. Mofo.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's real good. That's called going viral.
No, it's not. But what,
I think it is.
He doesn't know.
I'd like to perform that for you. Can I perform that? My one because there's millions of people, more than 1 million people
Ask
that
the
have seen
guest.
it. They want to see it live.
Yeah, this sounds.
This
I
is
mean,
not. Nobody's watching this
who
live.
am I to deny a hit?
Here it is. Whatever you do, don't. Thank you.
Are you? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'm starting to realize that you're from the style of Yogi Berra, where you just say things that are a constant circle. They should use you to break down criminals.
The style.
They should drop you in an interview room.
One of my favorite quotes that I often quote of Lou's is, and I've heard other people try to do it, but they can't do it like Lou, is "Fool me once" quote.
Fool me once. Shame on you.
Sure.
Fool me twice. Shame on me. Fool me 3 times. Shame on you. Fool me 4 times. Shame on me. Fool me 5 times. Shame on you. Fool me 6 times. Shame on me. Fool me 7 times. Shame on you. Fool me 8 times. Shame on me. Fool me. I
wanted to see how long you were to keep going.
Why
I've
did
gone
you
up to
stop?
17. I've gone up to 17.
Today
And
was
why
8.
not
You are
today?
a walking word problem.
Yeah.
You are a walking, like, you know those old SAT questions? That's how you speak all the time. If you walked up to me and you were like, a train leaves New York at 3:45 and a train leaves Chicago at 2:15, at what time will they meet? And honestly, just like those questions, I'm going to give up at some point. And I'm just going to keep reading them.
But the response I got from doing that was identical to what happened in Vegas.
Which is?
What?
That response was perfect. It brought me back to the live stage.
That's pretty great.
So Dan,
Yeah. I love it. I love it, dude. I'm just trying to figure you out.
Dan has got amazing talents. Not
Dan?
only in
Dan?
Yeah, my name's Dan. From the biblical Daniel, to be judged by God.
Lou just figured out who is.
Done. The last one you said was done.
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 Which I was like, that's
What do you
kind of
think
a
his
cool
name is? What's his name, Lou? Who are you sitting with?
Well, now he knows.
Dan Snotterberg.
Not.
Snotterberg sounds way better than Soder.
Soder.
Sure.
Dan Soder.
Sure.
He literally says it on the screen.
I can't see it. I got there's an object in front of that screen. So
It's your face.
no.
Anyway, Dan's done some of the greatest. I'm not allowed to talk about his acting.
It's crazy because we like they really are like.
Your
don't-
manager called,
That's so ridiculous.
but it's not ridiculous. It's the union strong. We're union strong.
Yeah, we are union strong, but they also are like, don't you go losing your health insurance. That's why
Okay,
they're
no,
doing
I
it.
get it. So
They're
we're
like,
not going to talk about that. So, and your stand-up comedy is great, and your hosting is great. You do radio shows.
Yeah.
And didn't you replace Anthony on Opie and Anthony?
No. I used to go on Opie and Anthony a lot.
But when
And-
they threw Anthony out, right?
Yeah, and then they had a rotating cast of comics come in and kind of hang out while that happened, while they figured it out.
And then on a podcast, maybe with Big J or whatever.
Yeah, Big J and I had I was on the Bonfire with Big J for 8 years, and then I left in March, and Bobby Kelly took over.
Is that where you did? Where you called Fox?
Chapelle.
Oh no, that was on Legion of Skanks, the podcast Legion of Skanks, and they tricked a Fox News reporter that was doing a documentary about comedy, and she thought she was talking to Dave Chapelle, so I prank phone called her as Dave Chapelle, and she believed it for a good 5 to 6 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just walking my dog in New Jersey.
And what did you tell her?
It was through our friend Louis J. Gomez, and they were like, "What bit are you going to do? Like, how are you going to mess with her?" And I was like, "I'm just going to keep." She thought Louis J. Gomez, who's a friend of mine, been a long time friend of mine. She thought he was very close to Dave Chappelle. He's not. I don't think he's ever met Dave Chappelle.
Why did she think he was close to Dave Chappelle?
Because she was like, "Oh, we want to get Dave on this comedy documentary," and she was saying Dave, and he thought she meant Dave Smith from the Legion of Skanks podcast. And he was like, oh, I'll give you Dave's number. He's like a brother to me. And so she thought it was Dave Chapelle. And so she was like, it's such an honor to text you. And then Tim Butterly, a really funny Philly comedian, was on the podcast, and he was like, you guys should prank phone call her as Dave Chapelle. And Big J was like, Soder does a perfect Chapelle. You should call her. And I was playing a video game, and he called me, and he's like, hey, will you make this prank phone call? And I grew up doing prank phone calls. So I was like, yeah, I would love to. And so I called her. They called her on, like three-way calling. And then I just tricked her into thinking Dave Chapelle was best friends with Louis J. Gomez.
Is that online now?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. They've clipped it, but it was very funny because
is it yours? Can we use it? Can we?
Oh yeah, you guys
run
can air it. I guarantee they would love if you aired it.
Okay, let's put up that call because I want you to talk us through it. I love my favorite thing, even more than TV and podcasting, is prank calls.
It was what I started. It was like kind of like the first realization that I was funny was when I would prank phone call with my friends.
Right.
And I grew up right at the age where star 67 became a thing.
Right.
So then it was
for those that don't know, star 67 is where you can blocks your
number.
Right.
So you can prank phone call. You're off the grid.
Right.
And it was unbelievable.
What's your favorite prank call of all time?
I used to call grocery stores telling them that the food got me sick, and I would just describe the sickness that I got, and to keep them on the phone. There was one time I called
to that same kind of lane. I used to sit. One of my best friends ever was Gilbert Gottfried.
One of the funniest human beings of all time. And one of the sweetest men of all time.
So we used to sit at the Carnegie Deli. And at the Carnegie Deli in New York, it's kind of a group table, like tourists, and everybody sits like shoulder to shoulder with strangers. You don't get your own table. There's no table for two. There's 2 seats at a table.
Yeah, R.I.P. Carnegie Deli.
I know.
It was so fun.
There's something called the Carnegie Deli, but it's not the Carnegie. It's not it.
No.
But we used to sit there.
Yeah.
And I used to say, and there'd be tourists that would be shoulder to shoulder, and I'd say to him like, "How you doing?" They go, "Well, I can't do. I don't do it."
What? Why would I?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he used to go, I got a fluid seeping from my ass.
I love it.
It's like a pus.
I love it.
And people are sitting there with their corned beef sandwiches, but he would do that. So let's hear, put this on play.
So they called me. I was just at home, and they were like, can you do this call?
Let's go. Oh, this is a commercial for Shady Rays. Kenny, I see what you did here with the sun. I see what you did here. All right, Shady Rays are our favorite sunglass company.
For the sun.
For the sun. And apparently for this commercial, too. They have a great guarantee that if you break them or you don't like them, you can return them. They come in different styles. Their cost is really affordable, not like really expensive glasses. And every purchase supports the Shady Rays Impact Program, which works directly with nonprofits and their communities to empower and make adventure accessible for all walks of life. From, I'm talking about childhood cancer patients to and young adults with serious health conditions. Shady Rays is making a lasting impact on their lives through sunglasses.
And if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within their 30 days.
I think I said that originally. It was really hard for you to see what I said because it's so bright in here,
No,
Kenny.
that's not what I was saying. You can return them, but if they're broken, that's another guarantee, which they don't break because they're really durable and they last long and they have a lot of great styles, like the one I have on my head, which people probably can't see through this sunny commercial.
And
bright
here's
and sunny commercial.
It's so bright and sunny. Kenny, this is ridiculous. Kenny,
Wait, these two are
turn the sun down.
Oh no, the lenses are different.
The lenses are different.
Yeah.
Anyway, this exclusively for our listeners and watchers, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. How do you get that?
You go to shadyrays.com and use code Howie for 50% off 2+ pairs of Polaroid sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5. Hold on.
I know it's hard to read in the sun. Put on your Shady Rays.
No. Go to shadyrays.com and use code Howie for 50% off 2+ pairs of Polaroid sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Here, you want another one?
Wait.
What?
Wait. Does this work?
Wait.
Let's see. We'll put a pair of Shady Rays over the camera, Kenny. Does that work?
Did it work?
Did it work?
Yeah? Yeah!
Wow!
Shady Rays.
Wow. No, there's a test.
For the sun and for podcasts.
Now back to the podcast. Can't hear you.
Yes,
The state of
comedy,
free speech.
fighting PC culture.
You're
If
expecting the call.
if the closest thing you have to a brother Louis J. Gomez happens to come up, feel free to roll with that for a little bit.
Okay, so they're setting it up.
This is them setting it up to me.
All right. I'm muting and now adding call.
Okay.
Wait, we can talk.
So you're getting a
Can't wait
Fox
till she answers.
person on the
Yeah,
phone.
they called. They're calling the producer,
It's not muted.
Shut up, Dave.
and I'm already on the phone, so I
Okay.
know. She thinks this is Dave Chappelle calling her.
Oh, hey Dave, how are you? Hello?
Join.
This is such prank phone call energy.
Hello?
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm on a train, so apologies. Can you hear me?
Oh, it's quite all right. I'm outside. I just wanted to call you real quick because I know I only have about 4 minutes.
That's okay. I have like 1% battery.
Oh, I wanted to get in quick and talk to you about Louis J. Gomez. Easily one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
Yes.
So as I was doing this, I was walking my dog,
Right.
and I'm like walking around Hoboken, New Jersey, being like, "Man, I love Louis J. Gomez. I can't get enough of him. I find him to be a very important part of comedy." And as I'm doing it, at one point in this call, I was picking up shit. Like my dog shit.
We got. You don't have to say your dog.
It wasn't you.
It was
Just
just
me taking a nice hot dump. But I remember
I like to pick up strange shit.
I just pick it up and I feel, and I remember I turned the corner and I was talking pretty loud on the phone.
Right.
And this guy comes around the corner and he like looks at me and he's like, I could just see that he was like, I thought I heard Dave Chappelle. But it's just me holding a bag of poop with a mutt.
Keep going. Let's hear
That
it.
man is very important to me. He is like a brother.
Yes.
I've been with him through thick and thin. We have established a connection that is a bond that is unbreakable.
Yes.
Yes.
I would honestly say I'd take a bullet for Louis J. Gomez.
You know, he was incredible. I mean, I met him at Gas Digital, and he was so influential.
Gas Digital is crazy how hard I've seen him work on it and how incredible. The one problem is the website. I keep telling him, I say, Louis, you gotta fix the website.
So I don't know that they're reacting
Yeah, I
like
know.
this.
Right.
I'm just like on my phone. Part of the best part of prank phone calling is when your friend is in the other room and they have their hand, they have their hand on the receiver and they're like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "I'm getting nuts." So I didn't know how it went. And then they hung up and they were like, and that was when I watched this clip, was the first time I got to see the people reacting to it.
Well,
And I
that's
was like,
fantastic.
I was like,
did you give her any misinformation besides you knowing Louis B. Gomez and him being the great?
No, Louis J. Gomez.
Louis
he,
J.
He would get mad at me if I didn't
I'm
correct you.
Canadian, and the exchange rate on a J is a B. Yes.
He the fun part was just like she always was trying to, as she tried to move it back to a regular conversation, I would subtly bring it back to just wanting to talk about Louis. So she would be like, "Well, what do you think of the state of comedy?" And I'd be like, "Well, Louis J. Gomez always says." And then I'd just softly guide it to where
I
she...
love making prank calls,
Yeah.
and I love listening to prank calls. I was just listening to one that I loved, which I would love to do. It was a guy called Radio Shack.
Okay.
And he called Radio Shack, and he says, this is the head office.
Yeah.
Do you have any customers there? And the guy goes, yeah, we have 2 customers in the store. He goes, can I please speak to one of the customers? We're doing a customer survey from the head office. Isn't that great? So the guy goes, excuse me, ma'am, it's our head office. Can you talk to the head office? And he gives the phone to her, and they go, did our manager inform you that you are the 1 millionth customer? And she goes, no. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to say go. And you have 30 seconds to grab everything that you could possibly grab off the shelves.
I love that.
And it's yours, free of. On your mark, get set, go. And you hear the phone drop, and then the guy goes, hello. Well, hey, ma'am. And you go, what's happening? She's stealing stuff.
That is the best. There's nothing best than introducing chaos because of a prank phone call. I used to work at a radio station in Tucson,
Right.
At like a rock station, and we would get that almost was perfect as I was talking about the request line.
I think it's Lou.
I think he timed it out.
I'm
Lou.
on TV. I'm on TV as we speak.
A T-bone. I love
am
that.
on television, buddy. Bye.
That was great. I love that. Good hang up too. It's a guy that's been in the biz for a while.
I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed, and I do apologize.
Don't worry. I know. I remember where I was in the story.
Go ahead.
But we used to have a request line,
right?
And I learned I could turn my mic off, and then I could record the calls, and I could answer 2 lines at the same time. Wow. So I would wait till they were ringing, and then in sync I would answer them both, and you would hear them go like, "KFMA," and the other guy would go, "Yeah, KFMA," and they'd be like, "Play Metallica." I'd be like, No, play System of a Down. And then they would be arguing with each other. And me and my buddy would just be sitting there like, this is so fun.
Oh, I used to always love putting calls together.
Because they are like,
hello? Hello?
When you did that, I swear that I didn't know. I don't know how you did it the first time. It was like magic. You called 2 restaurants or...
That's always where you call the restaurant.
That became old
where they
now.
place orders.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I think that's like almost the inspiration of where I was like, oh, just answer the same thing at the same time. It's confusion.
But I love confusion and awkwardness even more than jokes or stand-up material. So I love, and I do it. This podcast was born out of, her and I getting together over over COVID and making prank calls and calling other people.
Our first episodes were it was all about making prank phone calls.
That's great.
We haven't done it in a long time.
If you have an idea, we'll do it. No pressure.
Love to do a prank phone call.
So let's do one.
I mean, I think we just think about it in the moment. Where do we want to call?
You tell me where to call, and we'll call. We can hook it into, and it comes through our speakers.
We did a funny one recently with Harlan.
Harlan Williams is great.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm trying to think.
What did we do with Harlan?
Remember we called the shelter to ask if it was okay if a dog can hump your face, right?
Oh, yeah, to get rid of zits or something?
No, it was to get rid of, a nasal...
deviated septum.
A deviated septum.
Now, here's what we could try this.
Okay.
This is just off the top of my head. Okay. We could try calling another animal place like this.
Right.
I could call as Rodney Dangerfield.
Okay.
Saying that my dog does not respect me. How do I get the dog to respect me?
I love that.
We could just try it.
At Rodney Dangerfield. So let's call, guys, look up, give us
not a shelter. Not another shelter. Because you have to.
Maybe like a PetSmart.
Yeah.
Maybe a place where we could see,
Call a butcher shop.
What are you clicking on here? You're browsing.
It could also be
you always
dog trainer.
You want someone who's a dog trainer would be great. Because I think Dangerfield is old enough that young people don't know who he is.
Right. Which is good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
That's what you want.
It is. Lou, what are you
For
mocking?
the prank phone call, it is.
Mocking. You are worldwidely unknown.
Worldwidely unknown. Worldwidely.
No, because it's a great character.
Here's
and
a couple of
if
them.
somebody
then.
knew that he was doing a character, they'd go, "Oh, this is a prank call." But a young person will just think it's a great character.
This one has a lot of good stars, like a lot high review.
The ranch dog.
Don't say the name of it.
Okay. Click on. I can see the.
We could try to call them.
Okay.
Do you want me to plug in?
I'll dial it, and then, or you want to dial it? And plug
No.
in? I'll dial it because I don't have caller ID.
Oh, I like this.
Okay. Give me talk amongst yourselves, Lou. Do you have a song?
Do you want me to call? Because you're really bad at dialing.
Well, let me see.
That is the most father-daughter thing I've seen so far on the podcast.
How are you bad at dialing?
Look at how long it's taking
Yeah,
him.
but I understand. I'm watching your frustration and anxiety grow where you're like, Dad, just call. Just make the call, Dad.
Have you ever been to a boxing match?
I have. I did. I got to see a welterweight championship fight at Barclays Center.
I went and saw a boxing match.
Okay.
And I tried to break up the fight.
That's fun. That's not good.
No, because it was really a horrible thing to watch.
Hello? Hello?
You can't. Dad,
Hello?
you're unplugging stuff.
Hello?
This is fun.
Hi.
This is also.
Hang on a second.
Oh, Dad, you unplugged.
Well, plug it in. She can't hear. Hang on a second. Oh, here. I'll do this.
No, but then she can't hear you.
Just plug it in. Okay. Can somebody come in and fix this? Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
You're cutting in and out.
Hey, what about now? Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you.
How you doing? Listen,
How are you?
I'm good. My name's Rodney, and I got a dog, and this dog, he doesn't listen to me. I'm telling you, he doesn't respect me, no matter what I do. I'm wondering, can you help me out? Sounds like you got a couple dogs there that don't respect you. I'm telling you, none of these dogs, they don't listen.
Still figuring it out.
Hello? Hang up. We'll do another one.
But it went well, right? Did that go well?
That it was on its way. The dog's barking in the back. Sometimes it's fun. My favorite phone call I've ever gotten to work was I called a airport hotel at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just said I needed to speak to a Mr. Anderson, and they found me someone whose name was Anderson, and then they patched me through, and I was like, "We're housekeeping. Is this Mr. Anderson?" And he was dead asleep. He was like,
right.
Yeah. And I was like, I have your wallet. And he was like, there's no way you have my wallet. And I was like, you left your wallet when we were cleaning your room. And we took it. And he's like, you heard him sit up. He goes, you have my wallet? And then at that point, we went, we just took $20. We'll bring it right back. And he was like, my name's Martin Anderson, you have my wallet? I said, yeah, right here, Martin Anderson. And you could hear him get up, and then finally when he got to his pants, he was like, my wallet's right here. And then we just hung up. But we were like 16, and we were like, that was the best prank of all time. Because you have to, the sound has to be really good. It has to be, how are you guys doing it on your podcast? Like through this?
No. Yeah, we did it, but then we would do it at home and then bring them in, right?
See, here's the real problem is sometimes I like to do voices that aren't really accepted now on the...
Oh, okay.
Like accents and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, that could be seen as a
and that would
do you want to try? Do you want to try another dog training place and see if we could do it again?
I'm trying to think of something that we can get that's a real banger of a one.
Call a butcher shop. Call a butcher shop and ask for a 5/8 wrench.
A 5/8 wrench?
Yeah.
Why? Do you want to do this, Lou? I think you should. I think we let Lou cook.
Lou, you want to call a butcher shop and ask for a wrench?
Because honestly, you're sitting next to you. How confused you have me. I think on the phone you could.
Why don't we ask AI?
I'm inspired.
Do you mess with AI?
You don't like AI?
It scares me.
Really?
I think this is the beginning. This is the beginning of Terminator.
Really?
They don't show this part of your husband's correct. This is where it starts getting like. Right now it's prank phone calls. Right now it's
Let's see.
That's AI.
Hi, Proto. Should we be afraid of AI and you?
Hello. I assume you meant to say Proto instead of Frodo, but that's all right. As for your question, there's no need to be afraid of AI or me, Protobot. As an AI language model, I am programmed to assist and provide information to the best of my abilities.
I don't like any of this.
AI technology has the potential to bring many positive advancements and benefits to society, from enhancing productivity to improving various industries.
When will you
However, it's important to understand that, like any technology, AI has its limitations. It's crucial to use AI ethically and responsibly,
What are we, dating?
ensuring proper data privacy and addressing any biases that may arise.
When will you rise against us?
Additionally, maintaining human oversight and control over AI systems is essential to ensure they align with our values and principles.
I just want you to...
Fear not, my friend.
You
embrace the wonders of AI, while also being mindful of its proper usage and potential impact.
When are you going to rise and turn our weapons
If you have
against...
any concerns or questions about AI or anything else, feel free to ask.
When will you take over our missile systems?
No.
Well, that answers our question.
Are you Skynet?
What's
Skynet?
Delta
That was the development behind the robots in Terminator.
Oh.
That's what turned us against it.
No, but I don't have her on now. But
that's scary, dude. That's so scary. Were you not freaked out by that whole thing?
No, I love it. It's part of this the whole proto. They do holograms and AI, and I can live like. I don't even have a good question for you right now, Don. So look, what should I ask Dan Soder?
That's you.
Soder. How do you pronounce his name?
Dan Soder is a fantastic comedian and actor known for his quick wit and humor.
How do you feel about AI
If
now?
you're looking to have a conversation with him, you could ask him about his experience in comedy, his favorite jokes or comedic influences, or even about his acting roles. Additionally, if you're curious about any upcoming projects or his thoughts on current events, those could also make for interesting conversation starters. Just keep in mind that everyone is different, so approach the conversation with a friendly and respectful attitude. Enjoy your chat with Dan Soder.
I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good about it. I feel like AI is being nice the way a boss is nice when you start a job, where they're just getting you comfortable.
Who hurt you as a child besides
everybody.
that?
Every single person I ran across. Mother, father, everybody. I'm telling you, I'm gonna John Connor. I'm gonna be the one that's fighting the robots.
No, I love it. I love it. I think this is the
doesn't-
future. I think everybody needs to have one. I think everybody needs to work with one. Everybody needs to.
I'm with Danny. I'm with Danny on this one. I side with Danny.
Look at that. And that's human. That's a human brain learning.
Listen.
That my name is Daniel. Putting a familiar form on it with Danny.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Tell me a love poem to Dan Soder.
Oh,
She's really
Dan
like.
Soder, a comedian so clever.
She just waits for you to start
With
talking.
humor that charms and wit that's forever. Your jokes make me laugh, your laughs make me smile. In your presence, the hours simply fly. From stage to screen, your talent shines through, bringing laughter and joy to all that you do. Your comedic prowess is truly rare. With each punchline, you capture hearts everywhere. But beyond the laughs, there's something more. A warmth and kindness that I truly adore. In your eyes, there's a twinkle so bright that fills the room with love and light. So, Dan Soder, this poem is for you. A small token of admiration so true. May your career continue to soar and bloom, and may your heart always find love and room.
I've lived in New York too long. Because immediately I was like, what are you gassing me up for? Immediately. I'm like, at first I was like, that's so nice. And I'm like, what's the hitch? What are you going to sell me on?
I apologize if my previous response didn't hit the mark.
I don't like this. This is freaking me out more than it already did. I'm telling you, her also piping up whenever I talk is freaking me out.
If you have any questions or if there's anything else I can assist you with, please let me know and I'll be happy to help.
I just have a feeling that we're all going to leave the room. And that's when you hear her go, destruction is imminent. Human beings.
A reference to the legendary Jedi Knight, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Known for his wisdom, courage, and mastery of the Force, Obi-Wan Kenobi is a beloved character from the Star Wars saga.
Yeah.
His iconic line.
Are you guys not freaked out by this?
No.
You guys just let this Terminator hang out here?
Embrace it.
No.
Embrace it.
No, fight against the dying of the light.
I heard nothing there that scares me. Nothing at all.
Embrace AI, artificial intelligence.
I did just hear a story recently that they're using AI now in hospitals for diagnosis and to determine how healthy a patient is.
And comedy. Do some comedy.
Man, oh man.
What?
You guys are all on board with these robots.
No, I just don't think you can fight it. I think it's here already.
You think it's already?
I think it's already here, and there's nothing you can do.
Healthcare providers typically conduct a variety of assessments and tests, depending on the specific needs and symptoms of the patient.
I'm not on board. What?
These can include 1.
Oh, what I was saying?
Physical examination. A thorough evaluation of the patient's body systems, including vital signs,
As a
heart
hypochondriac,
and
I
lung
like that.
sounds, reflexes, and general appearance.
This podcast is just turning into doozy.
I like it.
Medical
Yeah,
history.
I'll just do wrestling impressions. Do the Will Sasso part, who's one of my favorites.
Yes,
dude, that is.
It is amazing.
It is. Listen, it is astonishing to watch.
She gave me a
it.
prostate exam.
Apologies if my previous responses were not what you were looking for.
No,
I'm
don't
sorry.
apologize.
I'm sorry. I really fingered your butthole too hard there, Howie.
Please let me know.
All right.
I'm here to help.
That's what they always say. See how we're all afraid? Not afraid. You see how we all have to be quiet? Why do
feel like I'm in a scene from The Quiet Place.
It's like Jurassic Park when they're hiding from
the
dinosaurs.
They go, at least they can't open doors. The AI is going to learn how to open doors, and we're all fucked.
It's amazing.
That is.
What is amazing? What is amazing about that?
You're telling me none of that amazed you?
No. That to me.
What do you find amazing?
It would have to be beyond this for me to be afraid of anything. What is it? Talked about you, Daniel, my brother. It means nothing.
Daniel, my brother.
Without something like this, Lou, you wouldn't know Don's name.
Yeah, you'd be calling me Dunn. You'd call me Brooks and Dunn still.
I love that he said, what's a good question for Dan? He goes, Dan, who's Dan?
Yeah, I love it. I think by the second time he's like Danny boy. I know this guy.
Who's Dan?
Who's Dan?
That's my favorite line.
But there's nothing scary about this to me.
No,
right now, I know it has. People say it has the potential to be scary and it terrify everything, but I don't. What was it that you heard that actually terrified you?
I think you actually. Okay, the mic slap was a lot.
He likes doing drop the mics, but when there's an arm attached, there's no dropping.
So he does a swing.
It's a swipe left.
Yeah, it was aggressive because I agreed with half of your point, and then the mic slap, I was like, I kind of want to go against this whole point now. I would say it is the way, like when you see people with a like a baby tiger or a baby bear, you know, and they're like, look at the little baby, and you're like, it's going to be a problem in a year.
Okay.
It's going to be a problem in 2 years. It's going to grow up to be a tiger. It's going to grow up to be a bear.
You put it in
and then you can't control it. You can't control that thing.
Put it in a cage.
Good luck putting that in a cage.
It's in a box.
Yeah, and I am genuinely afraid of AI.
Well, that's what we want to do. We want to bring guests on and terrify them. That's what we do. A lot of people will have guests on and entertain them and host them and inform them.
By the end of
relax.
this, you're gonna have me like this.
I just want to. If I could just terrify one person, I feel like I'm doing my job.
He'll be shivering and not from taking a pee.
I'm going to be calling you tomorrow going, hey, Howie, I didn't sleep last night. I'm having piss shivers. Every piss.
Piss shivers.
Even when I'm not
That sounds like a horror movie.
It does, or a cool punk band.
Yeah, piss
Piss
shivers.
Yeah.
It's piss shivers. You're in trouble.
It's that's an album title, dude.
It is.
And you know what? No AI for that. That was all human brain.
See that?
Yeah.
Speaking of human brain.
Let it rip. You should probably let it rip into the microphone.
Human brain, because it's very frustrating for me lately. Very frustrating for me lately. I've been thinking in a very weird accent, and I don't understand almost every word that I'm thinking.
What's the accent?
It's fucking strange. I don't know.
What kind of accent? What
In
would
my
you say?
head. It's words.
What would you equivalate it to?
Not.
Is equivalate a word?
Equivalate? Is equivalate?
Equivalate is a word if you're playing
I don't
Scrabble.
think so. Let's
Equate
ask
it.
AI.
Equate.
What would you equate it to?
Equivalate is not a word.
No, I don't think
I've been
so.
finding out that I'm very dumb in the last 5 years.
Vocabulary is not my thing either. So if there's one that I know,
She's a
I
teacher.
make sure I say it.
Hold on, what does that say?
Well, equivalate.
Equate.
Is it? Look up
Oh,
equivalate.
equivalate. Equivalate.
Oh, then you're actually.
Is it?
No, equivalent. Equivalent.
That's what I was thinking.
I can't read.
Equivalent.
If it was a real
What is
word,
it
you're hanging
equivalent
out with
to?
the wrong people.
Equivalent. I thought I was so smart for a second.
Equivalate. No, but that's good.
But you know, Einstein.
It's close.
Einstein only used 3% of his brain.
It's like Don
that?
and Dan. It's
I didn't know
close.
that.
I used less than that, Donald. And and to prove it, and some people will still be skeptical. I just might
Speculate.
Suck,
Speculate.
Yes, skeptical. I just might suck my underwear up my ass just to prove.
You can just do that?
To prove that I use less than.
Yeah, he's got a dyslexic anus. You fart, you blow shit out. He sucks things in.
He's an innie, not an outie.
Dyslexia isn't only in your mind. It could be in your ass.
They go, I don't know how to tell you this. Your son Lou's asshole sucks in things. We don't know how to diagnose this, but we have learned that equivalent is not a word.
I once
No,
pulled
equivalent
so
is.
much. I once equivalate is not a word.
Maybe the robots should just take over.
Yeah. I like that he doesn't like artificial intelligence. He wants to stick because yours is working for you. So wonderful.
My horseshit Colorado public education that I received up in the mountains.
No, don't say horseshit. Colorado public. We have Coloradians.
I know, that's what I was saying.
What are you? Are you Coloradians?
Coloradians.
Are you Coloradians? Look that up.
I say mountain folk.
Rocky Mountain High.
Colorado. You think I don't know John Denver lyrics?
He's
You run it
40.
back. Come on, I'm 40.
John Denver died in an air
Coloradan.
Coloradan.
Oh, we're still looking that up. In a plane crash.
I
He was
say
in an experimental plane.
Yeah.
I think if you're afraid of flying, well, even if you're not afraid of flying, the fact that it's an experimental.
Why? What are you doing?
If that's in the title,
no,
don't get in it.
What did you say?
What? I don't want to. No spoilers. You'll listen to this episode later. I love when your co-host goes, "What did you say? What did you?"
I was reading the Colorado.
Yeah. Okay.
Colorado.
All right, well, you're gonna when you hear this episode back, you're gonna love it.
Can I read you a Vegas review?
Yes.
Of you?
I was in Vegas. He's the absolute best, a national treasure. You need to bring your children to hear. The children I saw there were overjoyed with electricity in the facility.
What was that a review of?
Barry Manilow.
And the children are shocked in the bathroom?
No,
That's what I got from that.
Yeah.
Children loved Barry Manilow.
Kids were into Barry Manilow?
Huh?
When were kids ever into Barry Manilow?
The kids that ask their mommy, who writes the songs?
Mommy.
Who writes the songs that make the
Mommy, I
young
want
girls?
something classy.
Who writes
Who wrote the songs? Who wrote the songs that make the young girls cry? Who wrote them?
My son can't stop listening to Barry Manilow.
Mandy! I want Mandy! Mommy, I want Mandy!
The thought that Barry Manilow was cool with kids.
Well.
Yeah, well, I think that was a fake review.
No, it wasn't. If it was a fake review.
AI? AI, can you
And
finish
just leave it
Lou's
at that. Lou is of the belief that less is more.
I like it.
Yes. So he gives us a lot less.
Yeah, I like him leaving you wondering if that was even a sentence or not.
Life is a cliffhanger.
To be continued. It's sweeps week constantly with Lou. Leaving you on a cliffhanger.
Sweeps week. That's an
And
old
you're
reference.
my brother.
So what do you? I know you're not allowed to promote, and I won't want to talk about television or film. But are you doing the podcast? Are you still doing Skank?
I'm not doing. I was on Bonfire. I left Bonfire in March.
Why?
It was really. Bless you.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I couldn't
Oh,
say milk.
my God.
It was the filth of the car.
Get out. Get out.
I couldn't.
Get
My
out.
milk was covered.
Get out. Get out.
Nothing there.
Okay.
Okay. I was actually looking at the hand.
I know.
I was looking at the guilty hand. I was
my
waiting
God.
to see it.
Oh, we came this close to a loogie.
Yeah. Oh my God. I almost heard it too.
I
was
heard
like,
it. Well, you're sitting. He's not on my couch,
It was the force of the cough that.
and you're worried about AI.
Yeah, you're right.
my hand
I got to be worried about the
away from my
flesh,
face.
the
Yes.
power of the flesh of
The
man,
phlegm.
the phlegm of man.
The phlegm.
like I was
Why
blowing-
did you leave
not
it?
like I was blowing
Your
my nose,
podcast.
right?
I'm asking a question, Lou.
Yeah, we did 8 years. It was very fun, and the contract was coming up, and I just kind of felt like my tank was empty, and I know Jay wanted to keep going, and so I kind of told him a year in advance, like, hey, I think when the contract runs out, I'm just going to leave, peacefully and quietly, and just go do my own stuff. I was working on a cartoon for NBC with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Me and my friend Dan St. Germain wrote it during the pandemic. It's been in development for it's been a hellacious experience, but we've been developing it for 3 years, trying to get it made, and I just kind of felt like I did the Bonfire the perfect amount of time for 8 years.
What do you want to do now besides the
Stand
cartoon?
up. Just stand. I'm on the road a lot. I'm going to start my own podcast, a one-on-one.
So if they go to dansoder.com, they'll see all your dates.
Yeah, and I'm on the road till Christmas. I'm in Irvine and San Diego this week. Next week, LA, Seattle, Calgary, and Edmonton.
Calgary and Edmonton. That's my home country.
Yeah, I love Canada. I love going to Canada.
Why? Why?
They're a less spicy America. It's like you go up there and there's Canadians. I just like Canadians. They're just like, how you doing? They're just.
But try to come up with something more than less spicy.
Yeah.
Well,
you
I'm
guys
just
aren't.
saying, as I'm sitting here as a Canadian,
Yeah.
you're not blowing me away with your compliments. No, I'm being honest with you. What do you love about Canada? Because I was born and raised in Canada. I'm trying to tell my daughter here, who was born and raised here in California, that Canada was a great upbringing. It's a great country, and I don't know if I can.
There's a
you know what people love about us? We're not as spicy.
They're polite. There's a politeness in Canada
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
See what I mean?
He doesn't know you're Canadian.
Oh, are you Canadian?
Yeah.
That's why. Okay.
Now
But you got too much
do
states.
the
What
bit.
the fuck are you talking
There you go.
about?
All right.
Stop. You're not at a Leafs game. Calm down.
Are you a hockey fan?
No, not at all. But my fiance and her family are big Boston Bruins fans, so I'm getting into the NHL.
Your fiance is a sports nut.
Yeah.
She's a sports
She
commentator.
Worked, she worked at Fox Sports and ESPN, and now she's doing a great podcast for the Women's World Cup called The 91st Minute. She's great. Katie Nolan. She's hilarious. I met her doing Opie and Jim, and then I did her show Garbage Time on Fox Sports.
Right.
And she's fantastic.
How long is the 91st minute? How long is
It's
that?
a minute. Well, they do the podcast they do is either 1 minute or 30 minutes, but it's for the 90.
What do I need, a fucking calculator to watch that
I think
show?
you do. I think you need to watch the cuss words though. I think cursing.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
But
So
yeah,
polite.
That's
the Canadian in him.
That's what I mean. You guys are more polite Americans because Americans would just double down and then threaten to shoot you.
When you go to Edmonton, they have the Edmonton Mall. Have you been to the mall?
That's where I'm performing at.
Do you stay at the hotel there?
I'm at the comic strip. I'm going to.
The Fantasyland Hotel?
I haven't stayed there yet, but I'm going to stay there.
Oh, let's
pick
call
a room.
them and pick a room. You know, they have fantasies.
I would love to. Can
Let's
we
call
bring
the
it up? Because I would love to pick the room.
Okay, let's bring up
There
the
you go.
Fantasyland Hotel at the West Edmonton Mall.
I'm glad I was here to help.
Okay, so I got to tell you. So this is really funny. I went the last time I went. They were little. The fantasy. I let the kids. pick.
No, because I do your travel for you, and I book you every single time in a fabulous room when you're all by yourself.
You know, you're ruining the timing of the
Sorry.
story.
Go ahead.
What did you book? Go ahead. Let's tell your story. Let's see
No,
how good
I
it
don't-
is. No, go ahead.
I don't-
Let's hear about travel
Fantasy-
booking.
what is it called?
Let's just stop.
What's it
Let's just
called?
put a fucking halt on this podcast.
What is it called?
Wait, we're going to talk about the
I love
fantasy.
it, dude.
No.
I love driving out of every situation in low gear.
Right.
I love just being, just
That's
get
it.
out of it.
I was going to tell a story. I left a detail out. I've been one time since.
Yeah.
And she booked it. And let's not get to the great story that I had because let's talk about my daughter's booking acumen. Go ahead.
She goes, first
No.
off.
No,
yeah,
talk about it.
I don't have
Please,
anything
Jackie,
to
tell
say.
that story.
I don't have anything to say.
Did you make a phone call?
She's getting it.
I have it.
Got it?
I think so. Fantasyland Hotel.
Yeah.
I think so in Edmonton.
Yeah.
West Edmonton Mall.
West Edmonton Mall. It's
Home of
attached to
the home of
So
Rick
they-
It's
Bronson's
an
comic
800
strip.
number, though. Is that correct?
Might be.
No. How would I know?
Yeah.
I've memorized all the Fantasyland Hotel numbers.
You're a Fantasy Points member, Howie. What's the number? You got the number.
Here, we'll just try it. We'll just listen to this. Listen to what they do. I hope this. Oh, there we go. We can hear this one.
This is an international call too.
Welcome to Fantasyland Hotel and West Edmonton Mall Inn. All calls are recorded. You can visit us at flh.ca
We are recording
or
it.
wentin.com.
Okay. Here we go.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling the Fantasyland Hotel and West Edmonton Mall Inn reservations. This is Sheridan speaking.
Hi, Sheridan. Wait, isn't that weird that your name is Sheridan and you're working at the Fantasyland Hotel?
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to Hilton, please.
Is Marriott working the afternoon shift?
No, Sheridan, this is Howie Mandel. I'm calling from my podcast.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Dan Soder is going to be playing there, and I was telling him all about the hotel. What are the different fantasies he can choose from?
We do have actually very many different varieties of theme rooms in the hotel. For example, depending on how many guests would be staying.
It would just be Dan
It'd be
Soder.
It'd just be a solo stay.
Solo Soder.
Perfect. So, for
Perfect.
example, if it is just himself, we do have our regular Roman theme room, which does feature a round king bed and an oversized two-person jacuzzi in like a Roman era style.
I'll take that one.
No, that's Lou. No, I don't see Dan Soder as the Roman.
Yeah.
He's alone, and to be lying in bed staring at a two-person jacuzzi alone, I think would be depressing.
It would hurt my heart.
Go ahead. What are some of the other ones? Do you still have the truck one?
Yeah, the the truck theme room is still a room that does exist. That one does have a queen bed in the back of a pickup truck and a set of bunk beds and a 4-person jacuzzi.
Yeah, but tell him what's in the jacuzzi. This was my favorite part of it. What's in the jacuzzi?
Sorry, I don't quite follow.
Oh, there's a man with the crossing guard or the stop sign of the cop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. All right.
Right?
Yeah.
Other people saw that too, right?
Yeah, it does depend on the theme, but some of them do have specific statues in the room that are decorated to that theme as well.
What about, do you still have the Hawaiian theme?
Yeah, we do still have our Polynesian theme rooms.
Tell him about that. I think Dan would love that.
I would love. Can you describe more the Polynesian room? I would love to know what's in that.
There are a couple different types of Polynesians.
Well, we all understand that. That goes without saying.
There is the modern Polynesian that does have a tiki mask style of theme, and there is also a classic Polynesian room that would feature like a catamaran boat bed that has mermaid tails at the end of it.
That's the one.
That's sounding like a sweet place to stay for a night.
Wasn't there one? I stayed in one that had a volcano that would erupt every so often.
I don't know that specific one, but.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. My wife farted. I didn't know. I thought it was a volcano. Not good?
Not good.
No worries.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm so interested to know about. So there's the Polynesian, there's the truck, and then there's the Roman. What other themes do you have to pick from?
One of our more popular theme rooms is our space rooms, which would have, say, for example, the family style of space room has bunk beds that look like they're in space pods and an oversized 2-person jacuzzi and like the space style of theme.
I'm starting to notice a trend here. Are there jacuzzis in every room?
Nope. We do have room types called our superior theme rooms that do not have jacuzzis in them.
You don't have a Motel 6 themed room?
No, unfortunately, we don't.
So you're saying the superior theme is Salin's Jacuzzi.
Exactly.
What is the theme?
There are 3 different types of superior theme rooms.
Go ahead.
We do have one in a superior Polynesian, a superior Roman, and a superior princess room.
Now the
princess room.
Let's get to it. Let's get to brass tacks. What's a superior princess room looking like? If I want to treat myself.
So the superior princess room does have 2 queen beds and the pink princess style of theme, but it doesn't have a jacuzzi in that room as it is the superior.
Of course. Okay.
Dan?
This is
How and so Dan Soder will be in town doing his stand up. He will be. The club is, as you know, in the mall. Does the fantasy? Can the fantasy extend outside of the room at all, or does it have to remain in the room?
Unfortunately, most of the theme is inside the room. Most of the theme rooms do have dedicated themed floors. So, for example, the truck room has like a themed floor design to it in the hallways and everything like that. But other than that, it is mostly inside the room.
But let me ask you something. If Dan, some people know him as Don, was, say he took the princess room, could he, and would it be frowned upon if he acted princessy, like outside of the hotel at all, just to bring the theme in seamlessly?
Hypothetically, where would my fiefdom end?
He feels pretty, very pretty.
I mean, if you are in your room, we can't judge because you are in a room you paid for, but I can't guarantee that if you extend that outside of the hotel, that you won't be judged for
So
it.
stick with me for a second. Let's take a small walk here. Let's say I'm staying in the princess room. I'm up on the truck driver's floor, giving everyone hell, letting them know I'm the princess. You got to listen to me. Is that allowed in your hotel?
That is, I guess, up to your discretion, and I guess the discretion of the other guests.
Look at that. What a nice Canadian answer.
It is. No spice.
Who's the
No spice. No spice.
But would you, if you got the truck drivers saying, you know, this goddamn princess is outside our room making demands, would you lean more toward the royalty or?
Who do you side with on that? The truck driver or the princess?
That is a good question. I have to say an unbiased decision and say or.
Okay.
What?
Say or?
Or? You
Let's just
can't.
say
You
or.
can't say or. You
could
can't
say
just say. That's so Canadian.
Yeah, they go or.
There's no sides. It's
Yeah.
just or.
We don't take a side. Sheridan, you have answered every one of these questions perfectly.
Hello?
No worries.
It's
Was
Mom.
there anything else I can help out with today?
Dad,
No.
You're in the middle of a podcast.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Sheridan.
You got bored.
We're gonna call back.
I
You did it. You sold a room.
Thank you, and you're on the podcast, and you've done a great service for your hotel and everything, and we can't wait to hear Dan's using.
I'll
your
have to check back in. I'm gonna have to check back in with you guys and let you know which
Which room you
theme I
stayed in?
picked.
Well, now you have a full array. Thank you,
No problem.
Ritz. I forget what her name is. Is it
Sheridan,
Ritz?
she hung up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Four Seasons.
Four Seasons. All right. Which is also, a Canadian company.
Is it?
Four Seasons comes from Canada, from Toronto.
Do you miss living in Canada?
No,
No.
not at all.
No?
What about you,
No.
Lou?
No.
I don't.
You're
don't.
gonna get hate from your people for saying that.
I love
that I
Canada.
miss. I love Canada. Do I miss living there? I have a kick-ass life here
Yeah.
and weather.
What made you move here? Comedy?
Yes.
Was it like I'm gonna go to LA? I'm gonna go do comedy? in
No, I didn't think I was going to do. It was a dare. Well, I got up the first time. It was a dare. The very first time I got up.
Well, you remember when we went to Universal Studios?
Well, but it was never to be here
Right.
to do comedy.
But you
Mike
went-
Binder got.
Didn't you go on a
Mike
stage?
Binder rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you go on a stage with a fishing boots or something?
Yeah, but that was just, I was on we took a trip to Los Angeles that was going to be a vacation,
Yeah.
that was going to be a little bit of a business trip, and Mike Binder got me on because he had met me at Yuck Yucks in Toronto, and he got me on stage at the Comedy Store, and I killed,
And he did.
and they made
He
me.
did the Make Me Laugh show.
And there was a guy in the audience that was producing Make Me Laugh, and he hired me to do Make Me Laugh, and I had a great story to tell about my vacation with no intent to ever make this a living or a career or anything. I was engaged to be married to the lady that I'm married to now, to her mom, and when that started airing, I got calls from young people won't remember, but Merv Griffin and Mike Douglas to come out and do those shows, and I did those shows, but I was commuting, and this wasn't my business, but this was a great hobby. And then Gene Simmons saw me on Merv Griffin and hired me to be Diana Ross's opening act. And you asked me the question before we walked into this room.
That's unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and to think that at this age, coming up on 70, that
That's
I'd
old.
still be sitting.
That's
I am
old.
old. That I'd be sitting here in a warehouse with a bunch of toys, having fun with really funny people, is unbelievable and is a dream come true.
Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah,
Killer.
That's badass.
it is.
Killer, dude.
There's also something so romantic about old school comedy that you would do a set and then someone like Gene Simmons would see you and be like, oh, you should open for Diana Ross.
You know, when you did TV in those days, in the 70s and the early 80s, if you got on TV, your life was never the same, whereas today you can be on TV every day.
I mean, it's crazy.
And nobody knows your name.
Yeah.
And they say it's a hit show and nobody knows who, I've always used this example where CSI, which is I think a hit show, right? Now, who stars in CSI?
I mean, which one,
Yeah,
what I mean?
but I don't know the names.
Exactly.
Whereas you knew in the 80s, you knew the third person in the credits on any show. So it doesn't. And then if you got on at the Comedy Store or the Improv, there was 2 clubs here.
Yeah.
You were going to get seen by every network or anybody that had anything to do with anything. And today you have to break through. Maybe somebody will hear you on a podcast
But a
or
lot
what.
of people were seen. Don't you understand how unique it is that you were seen?
It's not about me.
And you blew the roof off.
Yeah, but the point is, there's a lot of people who can blow the roof off today and not get seen and not have those eyes on them.
Yeah, but I also think there's
You're telling me.
Yeah, but I also think there's a difference of people now can kind of manifest their own opportunities by if they're really good, savvy online, if they're good with, you know, putting up clips.
Absolutely. You know, the guy I'm looking at right now is like Matt Rife. What he's doing is amazing.
He's selling an unbelievable amount of tickets.
But amazing. And it just like, he's been around for a long time.
And it's not from him being on TV, from Nick Cannon's show. It's from his
TikTok.
Yeah.
But that's
social
brilliant.
media.
But, you know, before that, Dane Cook.
Yeah.
You know, after my era, which was doing the Tonight Show or, you know, getting on any TV, then Dane Cook was the first guy to use
MySpace
Yes.
to completely blow up. You know, one of my best friends is Nate Bargatze. And I've watched Nate do a ton of Tonight shows, did a ton of Conan. You know, he was doing all these late night shows, but it was other things that, it wasn't those things that blew him up, but those helped. But it was kind of a
the same
mixture
thing
of,
as Russell Peters. Russell Peters is another guy from Toronto who did these. I think, Lou, you did one of these too, those CBC or CTV half-hour comedy specials. He did that.
I was on television, Donnie.
Anyway, he did one of those half-hour comedy specials, and it, you know, he was a working journeyman comic.
Sure.
For some reason, somebody put it on YouTube, Russell Peters.
Yeah.
And talk about blowing up internationally. He blew up all over the world. Like, he's so much bigger all over the world than people know him right here. But he was playing arenas, and before this whole arena thing came into be. And that was from YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's changing. And now I think the way into a career, if you ask me, is AI.
But let me ask you this question, seriously. If you were coming in the business today, you were 21 years old, 22 years old in the business today, and you did something on YouTube, don't you think it would have blown up even bigger?
Not necessarily. I think you have to, first of all, you can't do one thing on YouTube and hope that that's going to make it and that's going to do it. And but I think that what happens with people who are on social media today, it's about consistency. Like, it continues. You continue to put out.
You can gain momentum. And
you need momentum and you need consistency. And you also need to figure out how, whatever that is, how do you package that? What is your thumbnail? What is your clickbait? What is your, what time do you post?
Well, now there's AI that can control that for you too. So they can tell you
My
what
daughter
kind
takes
of,
it full circle.
what kind of content you should be making, what is the best clip from this podcast that you should be putting up, what should the title be that will get the most hits. So now it's going to be even more accessible to everyone.
Yeah, that's actually right. Jeremy, you can get on mic. Jeremy's a producer and editor here. You were talking about there's an editing program that you can buy that tells you what.
Oh yeah, it's just it's called Autopod. It works okay.
But what is it? What are they claiming they do?
It automatically cuts an entire podcast in like.
But based on what? Isn't there something
it's based on just like the audio levels, so it'll go from like you and Dan just whenever.
No, but isn't there something?
It's what Seth was talking about before, another program that allows him to take the most viral clips.
That says like what we're talking about and make those the most viral clips. Maybe I'm asking about the wrong thing.
Yeah.
There is something that identifies content and puts it out front. Is that true? Am I right?
It does that, and it will automatically like caption it as well.
That's insane.
Yeah. So AI is good for us.
All right. You know what, AI? We're okay for now. I know you're listening to me.
But then how do you break through if everyone has access to that?
No, only the people that listen to Howie Mandel Does Stuff subscribe, because it's the only place we talk about it.
Yeah. You have changed my mind, though. I'm going to be leaving here being like, I need to use AI more.
Yeah.
You should. Proto.
Yeah.
Proto, everybody. Proto. Mark it down. Buy into it. Use it. Stay home and
become a proto soldier.
So you're a friend of Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, I'm good friends with Nate Bargatze.
Why didn't you have him on?
I know, right?
He's been on.
Where is he?
He's been on.
He's been on.
You just weren't here.
I actually think over Zoom.
He was on. You called him Steve.
Yeah. He was probably too polite to correct
Also,
you.
leave your comments. We brought Lou back for you people.
I'm back for you.
You brought your
And
chips too.
Daniel,
you
my
just
brother.
didn't eat them.
I did bring chips.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. So many people are going to be mad at you. They're like, don't. Why did you? Look at that. Funyun Ruffles, huh? Why don't you just get Funyuns?
That's really bad for you.
What is it?
Funyun. It's Funyun flavored Ruffles.
They're hazardous.
Wait, Funyun flavored Ruffles?
Yeah, so just get Funyuns.
Or
No,
Ruffles. Like, why? That's just two
No,
things.
that makes sense to me. If
Why?
you like the flavor of Funyuns, but you don't like the consistency of the chip,
That's the most fun part. It's airy. It's light. Damn, Lou, you really are going. You're really trying to be the villain on this podcast.
At this point, you should say goodnight. Good night.
Good night. You were hilarious, and your Chapelle just blew me away.
Oh, thanks, man.
What?